Here is another type A mesoionic molecule which you can read from. Here is the 1,3-diazolium 4-olate. And by the diazolium, we means that two nitrogen atoms will be present in the 5-membered heterocyclic ring structure. And of course, because it is a type A mesoionic, those two nitrogen atoms will be present non-adjacent to each other, right? So here you can see the structure of this 1,3-diazolium 4-olate, and here is the first nitrogen atom. This is the first nitrogen atom, and this is the second nitrogen atom here, right? And there is present a carbon atom, means they really are non-adjacent to each other, and that is why it is a type A mesoionic molecule. Okay, so now without any doubt here, we can start numbering from this nitrogen, because in doing that, the second nitrogen here will be getting number 3 here, and what will come to this point here, that will be number 4 in this way. Okay, so the direction of the numbering will be like this, such that at position 1, I mean this position here, we are having one nitrogen. At position 3, the other nitrogen. This means at 1 and 3, we are having 2 or the nitrogen atoms or the diazolium. And on position 4, what we are having is a single bond oxygen negative, means the 4-olate. Okay. So this is the structure of this 1,3-diazolium 4-olate mesoionic molecule. And you all know that we can always convert this into an equivalent type of structure. And in order to do that, what we need to do is we just have to draw here an axis of symmetry, such that we will be drawing two double bonds, one on this side and second on this side here, right? So now, because the nitrogen here is forming 4 bonds, so better to put a positive sign, and as usual there will be present a negative sign on this exocyclic atom. And after that, we can always show the second resonating structure in this case, and it will be like this here, giving a negative charge on this carbon atom. And of course, a double bond oxygen here like this. Okay, so that is why I have shown these two structures, the first one as well as the second one, in these square brackets. Let me write here, these are the square brackets which are showing our resonating structures for this mesoionic molecule. And right now on your screen, you can see here, this is the method of preparation for this mesoionic molecule. We will be discussing two important reactions here. The first one is starting from the amidines, which you can see here, right? These are what? These are the amidine molecules. Amidine molecule means a nitrogen, double bond, carbon, single bond, nitrogen here, right? And upon reaction with this alpha bromo acyl chloride, it results in the formation of the desired mesoionic molecule. So let us see what type of mechanism is there in this reaction. Now here is that amidine molecule, you can see here, right? And in the second reactant, we are having two carbon atoms. The first one is this, having of course a partial positive charge, as well as this carbon here is also having a partial positive charge here, right? But because it is bonded to one chlorine and one oxygen here, so definitely this is more electropositive, right? And also, the acid chlorides are more reactive as compared to alkyl halides. So this part of the molecule will be attacked by the nucleophilic lone pairs of the nitrogen atom from this molecule here. Now, we have to decide that out of this nitrogen lone pair, which is sp2 hybridized, and this one here, which is sp3 hybridized, which nitrogen lone pair will be going to attack on this acid chloride carbonyl carbon. Okay, so here we can say that more the S character, like in this case the sp2 hybridized carbon, more will be the electronegativity, and it is the tendency to keep the electron towards itself, right? And in this case, the sp3 hybridized carbon atom will be having the less s character, and it will be less electronegative relatively to this nitrogen here. So what we can say here is that because this nitrogen atom is less electronegative, so it can easily donate its electron, which will be acting as a nucleophile, and thus the attack can be shown from this nitrogen, which is sp3 hybridized, and it will be taking place in this way onto the acid chlorides, sending these electrons onto the oxygen atom, and it will result in the formation of a single bond and a negative charge here, right? And after that, these negative electrons will shift back to this carbon-oxygen single bond, sending the Cl out of this system because it is a very good leaving group. Such that I can now write here the R single bond nitrogen as usual, having a lone pair which is unused till now, a double bond here, this carbon atom, the second R group here, single bond, this nitrogen, to which one hydrogen and one R group is attached in this way, okay? And because the lone pair is attacking on this carbon atom, so definitely we will now be showing a single bond in between this nitrogen and this carbon atom here, which is also having one double bond oxygen, a single bond, this carbon atom, which is attached to one R substituent hydrogen and a bromo here. And now after that, we need to put a positive sign here because nitrogen here is forming 4 bonds. So what will happen next here? It will release one proton from itself, such that it will now become Rn double bond carbon, to which one R group is attached. This will now be a nitrogen atom to which the other R group is attached here. C double bond oxygen, a single bond carbon, on which one hydrogen, one R and a bromo is present in this way, right? And now because the nitrogen atom, I mean this one here, it is also having a lone pair of electrons, and now what is going to happen is it will now attack on this carbon atom because it is still electrophilic and it is also having one good leaving group, okay? So what will happen here is it will, as soon as it will attack here, the bromo will be going out of the system, resulting in the formation of something like R single bond nitrogen, and now a bond will be there in between this nitrogen and this carbon atom, to which one R and H is attached like this, right? And also there will be present a double bond in this manner here. R here single bond nitrogen, the other R group single bond C double bond oxygen, and there will be a bond in between this and this, right? And of course a positive charge will now be present on this nitrogen atom in this way. We can always show the second tautomeric structure here, that will be R single bond nitrogen, single bond C R here. This will be a double bond as usual, a carbon here, this R group, single bond nitrogen having this R here, this will be a double bond now here, and this will become a single bond oxygen negative, and a positive charge was present initially, as you can see here in this way, right? And now the structure which we have got here is, it is what? It is our desired mesoionic compound. Let me write here, it is the desired mesoionic molecule, which is what? Which is the 1,3-diazolium-4-olate, right? And we can always transform this type of representation into the other type of representation which is being shown here in this reaction, right? So this is the first synthetic method that starts from the amidine type of molecules, and upon reaction with alpha bromo acyl chlorides, and by going through this type of mechanism, it results in the formation of the desired 1,3-diazolium-4-olate type A mesoionic molecule. And we do have a second method for the preparation of the same molecule, which actually starts from our old friend, which is the 1,3-oxazolium-5-olate. We have already discussed a lot of chemistry about the 1,3-oxazolium-5-olates, and this time we will be using the reactions of this particular 5-olate molecule so as to synthesize our desired 1,3-diazolium 4-olate molecule. And you can see the reaction here. It is with the phenyl isocyanate, which will be acting as the dipolarophile here. Let me write here the word dipolarophile, and of course the mesoionic, that is the 5-olate. It will be acting as our 1,3-dipole, and the reaction will be what? It will be a 1,3-dipolar cycloaddition reaction. 1,3-dipolar cycloaddition reaction. And by the same type of mechanism which we have discussed a lot many times in my previous video lectures, we will see that this type of cyclic adduct will be formed first, which after eliminating a molecule of CO2 results in the formation of 1,3-diazolium 4-olate. Okay, so now it is time to represent this type of mesoionic structure into some useful type of representation, which will be in this way. I mean the 1,3-dipole, and here you can see it is the dipolarophile, and the negative end of the dipole is interacting with the carbon atom of this isocyanate, and here the nitrogen is interacting with the positive end of the 1,3-dipole, and we will be getting definitely this type of cyclic adduct molecule. And moreover, I want to tell you people that please have a look on the substituents here, the R1 and the R3. I mean this R1 here as well as this R3 here, they are what? They are phenyl groups, right? So here instead of this R1, what I can show here is I can show a phenyl group in this way because it is already mentioned here in this reaction, right? And now the next thing is what? That we can say here that this reaction is not going to stop at the cyclic adduct stage, and it will be going further by releasing a molecule of CO2 to give this type of product molecule. The reason being that when the cleavage of this bond will take place from here and a negative charge will come over to this oxygen atom, the positive charge which will be present here on this carbon atom, it will be resonance stabilized because of the presence of this phenyl group here in this way, right? In this way here you can see here the positive charge is being delocalized over the whole of the ring, such that we can show here if this is the positive charge, it is actually being dispersed on this whole ring system here in this way, right? And we know that the dispersal of charge means stability, so it will be going towards a more stable type of state, and that will be what? That will be to have a positive charge on this carbon atom, right? And that is only possible by the cleavage of this bond here sending a negative charge on this oxygen atom, such that these electrons will come here like this, releasing a molecule of C double bond O, that is our CO2, and sending these electrons onto this side, such that I can draw a structure like the C6H5 here, the nitrogen single bond, this carbonyl here single bond, and here is the second nitrogen having the R2 group, which is also attached to this carbon atom, to which our R3 is attached like this. And now a positive sign here and a negative sign here on this side, and the CO2 is going out of the system because of the stability of this thing, right? So let me write here, this is more stable, this is more stable structure here, and this is the reason why it is going towards this direction. And we can also say that after this is being generated here, so we can always show this type of structure into this type here. And finally, I do not have a space on this side, so let me draw here on this side here. So when this negative charge will be present in resonance in this way here, as well as the nitrogen lone pair are present in resonance in this way, I will be having a structure something like oxygen negative single bond, this carbon atom, then the nitrogen C6H5 here, a single bond, R3, this will now become a double bond, I am sorry, this will be a double bond now, a nitrogen single bond, R2 here, and on this side, once again, a double bond with a positive sign on this nitrogen, to which one R1 is attached to this carbon atom, right? So this is what here, this is the structural representation for a mesoionic molecule. We all know that it can be represented in this type of structure here, right? So this is the second synthetic reaction for the formation of the 1,3-diazolium 4-olates, and in this our old friend, that is 1,3-oxazolium 5-olate, is helping us, and upon reaction with the phenyl isocyanate by a similar type of mechanism which we are discussing from the past some lectures, that is a 1,3-dipolar cycloaddition. First of all, a cyclic adduct will be obtained, and in that, after the release of a molecule of CO2, what we will get is the mesoionic 1,3-diazolium 4-olate. So this is all about the synthesis. The next is the chemical reactions for the same mesoionic molecule. And you can see here, this is the very first reaction, which is occurring with a symmetrical type of alkyne molecule. And let me write here, this is my dipolarophile. This is my dipolarophile here. And this is what? This is the mesoionic molecule, and we can refer it as our 1,3-dipole, 1,3-dipole, right? So now what I have done here is, in this slide, on this slide here, I have first of all converted this into an equivalent type of structure, which will be in this way here. And it is interacting with this symmetrical type of alkyne, resulting in the formation of a transition state, such that now we can show a cyclic adduct formation in this way. Okay, this triple bond will now become a double bond, which you can see here, and this interaction here will result in the formation of a bond in between this carbon and this carbon atom, and also the interaction in between the positive end of the dipole and this carbon atom here will also yield a bond in between this carbon and this here. Okay, and I am showing those two new bonds with this red color, such that we will get this type of cyclic adduct here, right? And after that, because it is also mentioned here that R group is what? It is the phenyl group here. So this means this R group is what? This R group, I am sorry, it is what? It is this a phenyl type of structure here. And now what I can say is that the cleavage of this bond can take place, sending a negative charge here on the nitrogen and a positive charge on this carbon atom, because it is stabilized due to two different reasons. The first one is the phenyl ring stabilization, the same thing which we have just discussed on the previous slide, that the positive charge here is dispersed over the whole of the aromatic ring system. And the second stabilizing factor here is what? It is the allelic type of stabilization. You can see here, this is what? This is an allelic type of system here. A carbon, double bond carbon, single bond carbon having a positive charge. I mean like this here, a carbon, double bond carbon with a positive sign here on this side, such that it is also resonance stabilized in this way here, means a double bond, single bond, and there will be present now a positive charge, right? So this means, in nutshell, we can say that yes, the positive charge here on this carbon atom is stabilized. The two different types of resonances are stabilizing this positive charge. The first one is the allelic system here, I mean this system here, and the second thing is what? It is this phenyl ring here, right? And now the most important point here to remember is that suppose this R group attached to this carbon atom, I mean this carbon atom here, it would not have been a phenyl ring, then this type of further reaction won't be possible here. I mean the release of this isocyanate will not be possible, right? If this R would not have been a phenyl ring system here, right? So now what we can say here is that it will result in the formation of a C double bond C here, to which these two electron withdrawing groups are attached like this. These two bonds in this way here, and then it is attached to one R group here, which is the phenyl, of course, this nitrogen atom, to which one R group is attached like this, and it is also bonded to this point here. It is also having one R group. So now this will be having a positive charge. This will now be having nitrogen R here, single bond, and we are having a carbonyl here in this way, right? So now this negative charge will undergo resonance effect in this way, sending these electrons onto the oxygen atom, such that now what we will get here is a single bond. This will now become a single bond oxygen negative, a double bond here with this nitrogen, to which this R group is attached here, right? And the rest of the molecule is present in this way. I mean, R here, positive sign on this side, these two red bonds like this, and then the blue carbon, double bond carbon having these E groups here, right? And after that, what is going to happen is this O negative will again come here, sending these electrons onto this carbon atom, to which, let me write here, one R group is also present. And finally, what is going to happen is we will be having a carbon, double bond carbon, this E here, the second one, and after that, these two bonds like this, and this is attached to one R here having a positive charge, the nitrogen having the second R group here, then this carbon, to which another R group is present here, and this will now be having a negative charge. I mean, this carbon atom will now be having a negative charge after the cleavage of this bond from here, right? And finally, we can show that the resonance here will be like these electrons coming in between this bond, and the pi electrons are coming in between this and this, dispersing this positive charge, finally resulting in the formation of what? E single bond. This will now be a single bond E here. This will now become a double bond in this way. And finally, this is having R here, single bond nitrogen, R single bond R here, which is what? Which is, if you are able to recognize this, it is what? It is a pyrrole molecule, which is actually a substituted type of pyrrole. You can see here it is having different types of groups here. So better to call it as a substituted type of pyrrole. Okay, so this means the first reaction, which is with a symmetrical type of alkyne, it results in the formation of a substituted pyrrole molecule by a similar type of reaction mechanism. But in this case, we have seen that the positive charge will be stabilized there, releasing the molecule of isocyanate. I mean, this isocyanate from here, I mean, let me write here, minus R single bond nitrogen, double bond C, double bond oxygen, right? And it is all happening because of these two stabilizations, the allylic one and the phenyl ring stabilization. Basically, it is all resonance, charge dispersal, which adds up to the stability of this carbon having the positive charge. And thus, this reaction won't be stopping here at the adduct stage. It will go further like this, resulting in the formation of this type of substituted pyrrole molecule as the final product in the very first reaction of these mesoionics. Okay, and now let us have a look on the second reaction. Now in the second reaction, we can see here we are having that same mesoionic molecule as our first reactant. And the second reactant is what? It is a symmetrical type of alkene molecule now. A symmetrical type of alkene molecule, which you can see here is this, and it is acting as the dipole aerophile in this reaction, right? And this is what? This is acting as the 1,3 dipole, that is our mesoionic. And because it is a symmetrical type of alkene here, so there are no issues of regioselectivity. We can show the interaction of the negative end as well as the positive end of our 1,3 dipole with any of these carbon atoms, maybe with this carbon atom or with this carbon atom, because it is a symmetrical type of molecule, right? So let us say it is interacting like this, and then this is interacting with this carbon atom in this way here. Now, what will happen is it will result in the formation of a cyclic adduct in this way, right? Okay, now, this chemical reaction is a little different from the other reactions which we have done till now. So what I'm trying to show you people here is that the cyclic adduct here which we have got, it will not be undergoing the elimination of a molecule of isocyanate, but instead it will be going some other type of reaction. Let us try to understand what will be happening. Okay, so what I have shown here is this structure. It is an equivalent structure for this type of cyclic adduct. You can always compare this structure, I mean this structure as well as this structure. They are exactly same. It is just a matter of representation. I have represented in this way here so that it becomes, you people can easily understand what is happening in this reaction, right? And now after that, what I have drawn here is, it is just a bigger picture of this cyclic adduct. It is that same thing, just a larger picture I have shown here. And now the nitrogen atom, I mean this nitrogen atom here, is having a lone pair of electrons. Even this nitrogen atom is also having a lone pair of electrons like this. And moreover, these two can act as the nucleophilic sites, right? And in chemistry, if we are having a nucleophilic site, the best way to proceed in any reaction is to locate the electrophilic sites, of course, right? So we can say here that there are present two electrophilic sites. The first one is this carbonyl carbon and the second one is this carbonyl carbon here, because they are attached to two different oxygen atoms, you can see here, right? So now we have two nucleophilic sites, we have two electrophilic sites. So there are possible 4 attacks of the nitrogen lone pairs, right? And now we will try to figure out that out of this nitrogen here and this one here, which is going to attack first of all, and out of this carbonyl and this carbonyl, which carbonyl will be attacked by these nitrogen lone pairs, okay? I mean one nitrogen lone pair will be attacking, okay? Okay, now have a look here. If we are saying that this nitrogen atom is attacking on this carbonyl carbon, obviously it will send these electrons onto the oxygen atom in the form of a negative charge, and when they will return back, it will result in the release of this methoxy group from here, right? Such that a bond will now be formed in between this carbon and this nitrogen here, okay? And now if you start counting the members of this ring structure formed here, you will see that it will be consisting of 1, 2, 3 and 4 members, okay? And we all know that the 4-member ring structure is not a stable structure. So this means it just knock out the possibility for the attack of this nitrogen lone pair on this carbonyl carbon, right? So it will not be taking place, okay? And now let us have a look on the second possibility here. Let us say this is attacking on this carbonyl here, and once again it will result in the formation of a bond in between this nitrogen and this carbon atom. And once again, if we start counting the number of the atoms in that cyclic structure which will be formed, of course, after the attack, it will be 1, 2, 3 and 4 atoms here, right? So once again, that cyclic structure won't be a stable structure, so the attack is not possible even in this way, right? And now if we assume that this nitrogen lone pair is attacking in this way here, so once again it will result in the formation of a 4-membered ring structure that will be 1, 2, 3 and 4 like this, okay? So better not to show attack even in this way. And now we are left with the last possibility, and it will be like these nitrogen lone pairs attacking on this carbonyl of this ester functional group, such that it will result in the formation of 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 here, okay? So it will result in the formation of a more stable 5-membered ring structure from this side, as well as 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, okay? So from both the directions, I mean even from this direction here, I mean 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, as well as from here, I mean 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 here, okay? So this means the attack of the nitrogen lone pair will be taking like this here, okay? So now let us continue with this reaction. So this means finally we can say here that the attack will be taking place from this nitrogen lone pairs, and it will be occurring in this way here, I mean this way resulting in the formation of a single bond here and the negative charge on this oxygen, which will again come back like this, sending methoxy out from here. I mean OCH3 negative will go out of the system here, resulting in the formation of a new bond in between this carbonyl carbon and this nitrogen atom, such that a positive charge will be there on this nitrogen because it is forming here 4 bonds, right? And after that, once again, we can represent this type of structure into an equivalent type of structure that will be like this here. So I have taken the help of different types of colors here so that it won't be difficult for you people to imagine this type of structure, how this type of structure is being formed from this type of structure. And here you can see this is the new bond in the purple color, I mean this bond here, right? So this structure here as well as this structure here, they are the exact same structures, right? And finally what is going to happen is that this hydrogen here, it will send these electrons onto this side, and these 2 electrons of this bond here will shift to this nitrogen. And the reason why it is happening is that the nitrogen is not happy to have a positive charge. What it will do is it will take the electrons of any of the bond here towards itself so that the positive charge here can be stabilized, it can be neutralized, and this is what will help in this type of stabilization, right? So the H positive will go out from here, it will go out from here in the form of minus H positive, and these electrons will shift here, giving a double bond like this. And this bond here, I mean this bond will break and the 2 electrons will come onto nitrogen and the positive charge here will be gone now, right? Finally, resulting in the formation of this type of final product molecule, right? So this is a unique type of reaction which we have not encountered till any of our lecture. And so, but I have tried my best so that I can make you understand what is happening in this reaction here with the help of different types of colored bonds, right? So this is all about the synthesis and the chemical reactions of the 1,3-diazolium 4-olate molecules, and it is the 5th type A mesoionic molecule, right? So this is all about this lecture here. Thank you so much.